Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News with me, Katura King. If you love prints, colour, sustainable fashion and art, then you're in luck. Joining me today is fashion designer Hazel Agri-Orleans and visual artist Lanre Adegoke to talk inspiring the community through creativity. Welcome to the morning show, guys.
Hi, good morning.
How are we?
We're good.
I've been joined by so many creative talents this morning, I almost don't know what to do with myself. I don't feel so weird anymore. Now, let's start with this Sunday. What's happening?
Well, this Sunday we're having an art and fashion charity event. So we're bringing art and fashion together to showcase our talents, and it's very much about a charity that we're supporting. It's a charity that Lanre has, which is called Art Alive.
Right.
And it's looking after juveniles who are who basically either off the streets or homeless, and it's sort of we're trying to give them hope and using our collaboration of craftsmanship of art and fashion to go and create workshops in their homes and yes, give them hope, basically some kind of inspiration.
That is amazing and very inspirational. Now, we actually have a flyer of the event, so we need to get that up on screen now so that the viewers can see what will be taking place this Sunday. But I noticed that we have some artwork in studio as well. Talk me through the piece that's next to you, Lanre.
Well, this piece depicts the world and the creative world itself. And if you can look at this end, this is a brush.
Oh, yes.
That is a brush right there. Every single one of us has a gift. And we have the gift to create our world. And that's the world itself. And the world is beautiful. But it's how we use the gift we have. And the gift I have is art. And how am I making a change with our art? And that's what we're discussing today. So that's what that piece is about.
It's very literal, sort of emotive piece. I like that a lot. Now, for those that do not know, I'd like for us to give a bit of context to exactly why we're putting on this fundraiser this Sunday. So talk to me about your artwork in terms of how you started out.
Well, I was homeless on the street in England. I was a drug addict. And it took a lot for me to find what am I doing here? What's my purpose?
Yeah.
And for that reason, I got into so many different incidents. For instance, now I started sleeping in hostels and things like that, squats as well. And one day I was in the squat, in the hostel. They put me in a hostel, and I was saying, well, if there is God, how come I'm in this place? And this man knocked on my door. His name is Perry. He's passed away now. And Perry said, "You can hear me praying." I said, "Well, where did you come from?" He said, "He's been in and out of prison for 21 years. And he said, "What do I do?" I said, "I'm an artist." So he said, "They need me in prison." So I said to him, "What do you mean they need me in prison?" He said, "You can do art in prison." Then I felt a sense of purpose. And that's how the conversation changed from there. Then I went to meet my support worker and I told them, "I want to go to prison." He said, "No, don't go to prison." So I explained myself to him. I said, "I want to go and help people. This is what I want to do. This is where my passion is. I have a gift, which is art, but I want to help young people." And from there, things changed. Then I set up a charity called Art Alive. And Art Alive actually works with a lot of youth. I've worked with over 10,000 youth in the last 2 decades. I've been painting for over 40 years. I worked with the late Professor Ben Nwamo. I was the only artist who worked with him in Swiss Cottage when he was in London in the 80s. And I've set up a whole lot of stuff. I've worked with the royal family in England, with Princess Anne.
From homeless to Buckingham Palace. Not many people can say that they've done that. Wow.
So it's been I need to come back to Nigeria. I need to come and do this in Nigeria.
But it's interesting because that was actually going to be my next question. So what has brought you back home?
Charity begins at home.
Yes, it does.
And that was a quote Aki actually mentioned. And I said, yes, we need to go back home. We need to give back. It's not about pointing to anybody else. The question is, Lanre, what are you doing? It's not to say the government or this minister or that did that. What are you literally doing, Lanre, yourself? And we're taking that step. You know what? We have a gift, fashion and art. Let's bring it together, collaborate together, because these kids need people like ourselves back here. And we decided that we're going to go for the destitute, those who are in the remand home, those who are in the juvenile home, and things like that. And that's where my passion is. That's what I want to do. And I'm so happy that I'm back home.
That's amazing.
I'm very happy because I couldn't have done this without my wife.
Are you tearing up? Oh, you're getting emotional. I'm getting emotional. What an emotional Friday. Wow.
I couldn't have done this without my wife and my two daughters, and she allowed me. I couldn't have done it with her, and I'm so grateful to her for allowing me to do what I love doing. And she was there when I had nothing.
Wow.
Yeah, so
I'm man,
happy.
What a woman.
Yes, she is indeed. Yeah.
Now, Eki, you are, I always call you Eki, even though your name is Hazel.
No, but it is Eki.
There we go.
It's
Okay,
Eki,
fine. I don't feel so weird anymore.
Yes.
You and I spoke many, many years ago.
Yes.
Actually at Arise.
At Arise, yes.
And it's so wonderful to see your career just blossoming. You were growing from height to height. Tell me about why you decided to get involved with Art Live.
Basically, I met Lanre last year when I showcased at the Sotheby's. And he just come as a guest, and after the show he just approached me and we started a conversation from there. And I got to meet him and understand. Went to his studio, and over the year, or not even a year that I've known him, I really got to understand where his heart and mind is at. And for me, there's nobody better than Lanre to sort of forefront this charity project, because he's actually gone through this experience himself. And it's just, he's so passionate about it. And so we just thought, why don't we just bring art and fashion together? Because it's very much with fashion, it's the runway, it's the catwalk, it's pretty girls walking up and down the catwalk, which is great. But for me, there has to be something more. It's like, what else can what impact can you create? What social impact? How can you change lives? And yes, with the clothes we design, we try to empower women and give them that confidence to go and then sort of pursue their career in whatever they want to do. But what else can we do? And so this just kind of just fitted in perfectly. And so we just talked about it over a few months, and then we decided, let's just do this.
Wow.
And we just wanted to bring it home. So let's just start at home, because it just makes sense to bring it home.
That's amazing. And your fashion line actually draws inspiration from West African heritage as well.
It does.
So it's wonderful, like you say, to see the both of you bringing it back home. But I can imagine that you faced a few challenges along the way. Talk to me about some of the stresses involved in setting up a fundraiser in Nigeria. That laugh tells me everything I need to know.
Do you want to go ahead?
Uh-oh.
It's just very dynamic, different dynamics you're dealing with.
That sounds like a euphemism.
But
Dynamic.
But it's just basically, we've had challenges, but it's just we know where we want to go, and so we know that there'll be obstacles, but we know the bigger vision, and it's just sort of just putting those obstacles aside and just going for it. But yeah, there's always obstacles in creating an event, and also when it's donations, when it's a charity, you have to sort of try and get people to buy into your vision to be able to donate. Not everybody understands what it's about, and they have to understand to be able to give money towards it. So we're hoping to create an amazing show on Sunday to create awareness, and then
I have no doubt that you will succeed. So what can we expect? What's the lineup for Sunday?
Lineup for Sunday?
Yes.
Well, we have some great people. We have comedians coming in. We have Echo Brass Band. They are great.
Oh, they're amazing. Echo Samba. They
Echo
are
Brass
wonderful.
Band. Brass Band. I met Lekon Babalola, a great friend of mine. We've come together for a long time ago, and Lekon said, Lanre, let's get Echo Brass Band. And I went to watch them, and I thought, these people are just the sort of people we need to come and actually perform. And so they're going to be coming. We have a comedian as well. And who's,
yes, I actually used to go to school with him.
This is wonderful. You and I have known each other for years. You mentioned two-time Grammy Award winner Lekon Babalola, who just called me, so he's clearly watching the show.
Lekon, hi, how are you?
Hey, Lekon. And now
He's a
you've
great
gone to
man.
school with a comedian.
I
What is
know,
going on?
it's just, yeah, literally, yes, So we're bringing in like all our contacts and friends and for a good cause, And then we have Dollface, we have Timmy Dollface.
Yes, Timmy Dollface.
Yes, who's
Beautiful young lady.
Yes.
Beautiful young lady.
Her
Music.
style is amazing.
Very eccentric,
Very.
yes.
And her style of singing as well, her music
Yes.
is very different to what we're used to here.
Yes.
So it seems as though you're bringing people,
Yes,
very
picking
selective.
people who would fit into this whole project. Yes.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Well, what is the inspiration behind this event?
The
So we
inspiration.
know exactly why you're doing it. We know the cause, and we know what the effect is, the hopeful effect of it is. But what are the inspirations behind it?
I suppose I can say because the mere fact, I went to one of the juvenile home in Adegoke. And when I got there, I saw this young boy. And I was saying, what would you like to do? Guess what he said? He said he would like to be a Tyler. And I said, a Tyler? What do you mean? Is that why they call you Tyler? That's his name.
Wow.
They call him Tyler. He's only 13 years old.
I have to interject and say that's a great dad joke.
So I felt so passionate about that. And, you know, I thought, these kids are there doing nothing. And when we can give them skills like doing adire, doing shoemakers, they can be great shoemakers. We can teach them the skills. They can weave and things like that. And they can become their own entrepreneur and give them hope.
Yeah.
Really, and this is the inspiration behind it, really give them hope. Because they're lost there. They can't do anything. They will leave the center and they back to the street. Yeah. And if we don't do something with them, they are the same kids who will come into our homes.
Of course.
So we need to help them and support them. If I wasn't supported, I would have been dead by now. Yeah. And I see all these kids and I said, you know what, we need to do something. And this is why we're actually having this charity, for people to support it. And that's where my passion is. And I said, whatever it takes, this is going to happen. This dream is going to happen, you know. And,
I love that, the dedication.
This is it. This is my purpose.
Yeah.
This is why I'm here.
So how would you measure the success of Sunday's event? What would fill you with the most joy? Waking up on Monday morning to look at something and say, I did it. What would that one thing be?
You know what? You know what? It's not even I did it. I know God has already done it. I've already seen it. And once I see it, I know it's already successful. Yes. So it's not about the amount of people coming. It's not about the donation coming, but the mere fact that we are out there and we've already voiced it out. We've spoken it. It's already started itself. So the success is already there. It's successful already. So I don't look at what I see. I don't look at what I see. I just know that the word is out there. And I'm sure somebody's watching now and they will know that there is a need for this. Yes. And I think that should touch people's conscience and support this project. Absolutely. And be there. You know.
If you were to give, because you've been in the position yourself, if you were to give any piece of advice to a person who's struggling, who feels as though they can't make it in life, you know, maybe they're in juvenile homes or detention centres, what would that piece of advice be?
I'll tell them not to give up. I'll tell them not to give up. There's always hope. If somebody like me can be here sitting down here, there is hope. I met a young man. He left. He came out of Oregon juvenile home in Ikeja. And 10 years after that, he's still doing art. I'm mentoring him now, Paul. And it's amazing to see that. For that, I'm encouraged. Of someone like Paul to come back and say, Mr. Lanre, here I am, and I'm still there, and I'm holding on, and he's still going to school. And it's the support of people like, people who support, who see the vision and see that. For me to see that is like, it gives me more hope that, this is a success already, because if it's just one person who gets delivered from there,
at least
it's worth it. It's worth it.
And that's amazing. What a laudable feat. Thank you so much for joining me. You guys are beyond inspirational, and I cannot wait to see what happens on Sunday. I'm so excited. Art and fashion. Don't say I don't bring you the good stuff, guys. And that brings us to the end of the morning show today. Thanks once again to my wonderful guests, Adegoke Lalai Kindoju, Hazel Agri-Orleans, and Lanre Adegoke for joining me, Katura King. And of course, thanks to you at home for watching. From my entire team and I here in Lagos, all that's left for me to say is enjoy the rest of your morning and, of course, the rest of your day. And goodbye.